I'm the man, yes sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. We still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger pain. I'm talking about, that's all I'm saying. Late ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today all year, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right. You best believe it. I ain't telling you no lies. We here for that on screen. We here for that Star Trek Discovery. So let's fly. Now, before I get started, your boy is back. Look at the dome piece. Shiggity shine. Look at the face. Cliggity clean. All right? We're back. I know you was like, oh, what's going on? My man look like he in Rocky 4. All right? He's just out there in the wilderness. Oh, but he's back. So, right over here, I'm not by myself. We are getting straight intergalactic with Solar Gray, Cinematic Sorcerer. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, doing this show from the Wizard's Tower. It is cold. It is just unpleasantly cold. It's the warmest it has been for 4 days. So we have gone from I must love you people to be streaming online to this is unpleasant. So I guess things are improving.
I guess so.
Yeah. So.
Now we might have one more coming through. Hannibal Taboo. He might slide through. We'll see in a second. You know what I'm saying?
The hardest working man in media.
He got things to do. So, but if he slides through, you know what I'm saying, he'll drop through, come through the side door like he always do. I want to give a shout out to everybody who's in the chat early. If y'all are getting y'all lurk on, all that good stuff. Hello, nice to see y'all. Go in and share this. Hit the like button. Get your friends in here so we can talk about some Star Trek Discovery. I want to start this episode's discussion off with, do you feel like...
No, I feel nothing. No.
Like Stamets and is it Taruk or was it Taruk? What was that guy's name?
Hold on. Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find...
Thoughts are had.
Yeah, because I want to make sure I get his name right. I think it was Taruk, maybe. Maybe it's not. Look, for now, he's Taruk until further investigation.
No further notice.
Further notice, Taruk. We'll just go.
I'll just call him Cocky McSmart Guy. Yeah.
Do you feel like him being around Stamets is like Iron Man being around Bruce Banner before they made Ultron? Because I was like, you a bad influence.
Honestly, see,
I felt
it's
like
a little
Saru
weird.
was the teacher in class that needed to separate the two bad kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know how there's a bad kid and there's a kid that's like, he could be bad, but he ain't tripping unless this kid is around. So you got to separate them. You got to put like one on one side of the room.
All right.
For the other one, you know.
So we gonna use this Marvel reference. All right. So as long as we're using this Marvel Comics metaphor, I'm really feeling, okay,
right,
like Smarty McMorales is like Reed Richards, and Stamets has been like Tony Stark this whole time. Oh, and Taruk comes, and my boy, Faru, he's stuck being like Sue Storm. He's literally sitting up, trying to break those two up, or even like Captain America or Doctor Strange or anybody else that can get between Reed Richards and Tony Stark. you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't, and honestly, as long as you keep Reed Richards and Tony Stark as those two, it doesn't matter which one is which.
Yeah, because they're gonna feed off of each other, and like Stamets was fine, and even the idea to try to like generate this and see how they were working it wasn't a bad idea. It was
okay.
It was when this idea got to the point where they're like, "Yo, let's sacrifice the ship for this," and it's like, "No, let's not." Like we're in the middle of a rescue mission as well, dude. Like, why don't we go back to headquarters or something, or go to like a planet that we know is empty and it's just like, you know, like the Tatooine of this galaxy where it's nothing but sand, and then we can practice it there. So if, you know, we blow up some sand, no problem. But we're in the middle of a ship, in the middle of a recovery mission, or
dude, they're all about science. It's not about shoulda, it's about coulda. I want to know if we can do it. And it's actually funny because now I'm going to say this and I'll have to repeat it if Hannibal shows up.
All right.
But yeah, I think about 3 minutes into the experiment where they had to convince Saru to not pull the plug, I'm like, he did it. Like he is the bad guy. Hello, bad guy.
Yeah,
how you doing? Because the whole principle of there is this thing out there that's destroying planets at what seems to be random that we can't catch up with, and we don't even understand what it is. We got some theories, but we're not sure. And his solution is, let's make another one.
Yeah. Why don't we,
and
I'm like, so what? Because essentially, okay. And I am no scientist. I watch sci-fi shows and stuff, but I'm in no way a scientist. I think science is cool, but I don't be doing it. I don't have beakers and little, you know, Bunsen burners and stuff. I ain't doing all that. But essentially what it seemed like to me was, okay, somebody has a remote control for this thing. Let's make our own remote control. That's what it seems like. And I'm like, well, I guess that could work, but I don't know if because just making your own remote control doesn't really solve. I mean,
okay.
In theory, I guess you could use that remote control to kind of like create a stalemate situation to like protect planets, but still, it sounds more like your underlying idea is like, look at this weapon, I want it. How can I get the Federation to give it to me?
Well,
because I'm like,
if not one,
you ain't had no Federation clothes or nothing. I'm like, how we know who you is?
Yeah, if not want it, I want one.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's like what Chris Rock says about, you know, women seeing good men. Like, wow, I really want a man like that. No, I want that man.
I want that.
Like, look at that weapon out there. Oh man, it destroys planets on a thing. I would like to have a weapon like that. You know,
I want one too.
You know, so the thing is, I do science. All right, I do sit up with beakers and big machines and notes like folders
copious
full of notes. Okay, copious notes and a whole bunch of things I don't tell nobody about because either I am not smart enough to make it happen or I am too unwittingly moral to even try.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the part about the scientific process that's got me thinking, all right? The scientific process is, you know, make an observation, come up with a hypothesis, test the hypothesis, report your results, right?
Yeah.
The part that people don't quite get, and this is why I think this Reed Richards, Tony Stark analog is with the bad guys, is the entire purpose of the scientific process is to be able to repeat the process and get the same results. So we got this big thing out there that's destroying planets, moving around at random, and he says, I got a theory. I want to check this out. And I'm like, so you want to make another one? You want to do it again. You want to say, repeat the process. And
because I will say that's something that's definitely in my wheelhouse. As someone who has worked in tech support before, especially over the phone, it's like, sir, I understand what you're saying. Right now, what I'm trying to do is recreate the issue to see how you got there.
Yeah.
Once I can recreate the issue, see how you broke this or how you got to this error, then I can be like, oh, okay, this was pressed, that was pressed. Then I can send this to IT or send this to whoever that this certain function needs to be fixed or whatever.
Wait.
But we got to recreate the error.
That
first.
was your job?
Yeah, I did.
You did tech support?
I did tech support for Comcast.
Bruh.
For 4 years.
Bruh, that is science.
Richmond, Virginia.
That is science. That's straight up science. All right, don't sell yourself short.
I guess I wouldn't consider that science.
Look, just because you're not wheeling dead bodies to the ceiling during a lightning storm doesn't mean it ain't science. All right, that's like saying that's like I never pulled my gun and shot somebody. I'm not a real cop. Nah, bro, you were doing the real work.
All right, cool.
What's the problem? What did you do? Man, what did you do?
What happened?
Oh, you did that. Yeah.
Let's see if we can redo it and then see how it happened.
Now apply that principle to everything that scientist did in this episode with creating a working scale model. I'm like, okay, scale model, what, working?
Yes.
No, not when it comes to a gravitational anomaly, because gravity is one of those compounding things. Like, you get more gravitons, it gets stronger, so it gets bigger. You know, I feel like the spazzed out Neil deGrasse Tyson right now. Like, if you make a scale model of a gravitational anomaly, what you'll end up with is a gravitational anomaly, right? That is no longer to scale unless that scale is 1 to 1. And I think that is what he was asking. You know, had I been, like, true talk, if I had been Saru, I would have been like, so you would like to use the ship for this? Okay, I will observe the experiment. Swagger. Oh, lights went down. Plug.
Yeah.
You know.
Because he comes in disrespectful. He remains disrespectful. So you have to assume that type of energy and that mindset and that attitude and arrogance will be placed inside of anything that he does as far as work is concerned. And I don't mind testing it, but is there a way that we can do a software test on this on like a computer just to see if it might then be like, oh, okay, because if we make one in real life, then that could be a whole other issue. Now, another thing he said, because I was thinking this because we have Star Trek Prodigy. I was like, they were talking about how it powers and this. I was like, this is before we got to the final scene. I was like, well, what if they're using a protostar, like the ship? You know what I'm saying? Because in Star Trek Prodigy, there's a protostar inside of the ship. Like there's an actual
the prodigal drive
star.
Yeah,
there's an actual star inside of it. So I was like, well, what if they're using something like that? And then of course, he said something like we were using a 3.77 divided by 17 times scale, like something super duper small, right? And then he said the ship couldn't even power that. So whatever they're using has to be powered by a hyper giant star. All right, so as someone who checks out
or
NASA
neutron
stuff
star,
so is this someone who checks out NASA stuff every now and then? Like recently, well, not really recently, but this year, we got those pictures back from Jupiter, and Jupiter looks crazy dope. But then they said they found oh, go ahead.
So you open this segment with like, I'm not a scientist and all that stuff. I'm just, I just work tech support and I recreate the problem. Cool. And every once in a while, I check in on NASA to see what the new technology is.
I said, but I do think science is cool. I just don't do it.
It is not my profession. It is just my hobby. That is all. I am not a scientist. I'm a scientific dabbler.
So okay, we have our sun, right? And our sun is like big, all right? It's super big. Like we're not even next to the sun, and it can get like up to like 120, 130 on this planet, all right?
Yes.
So it's super duper hot. And our sun
It's hot enough to
not,
turn hydrogen into helium. Yeah.
So our sun is not a hypergiant.
No, our sun is actually a middle-sized star.
Yeah,
It's a C
sun,
plus.
Yeah, so our sun is not a hypergiant. So imagine, I looked up and I can't remember the amount, but over like 5 times the size of our sun. Like imagine a star that's like, like, I don't know, 10 times the size of Jupiter, which is the largest planet we got. Well, I mean, we got, but
our star is already over 20 times 10 to the 14th power, the size of Jupiter. Okay,
yeah,
so we're talking a star that's like 45 times 10 to the 57th power times our sun. Or a neutron star, which is smaller, but it has that much mass compounded.
Either the only thing that I can think is that either they have this star, and they've condensed the power into something, or they've built this thing, around the star. So like the star is at the center. Who knows? I don't know. But we're talking about crazy power levels, right?
Yes.
And it's highly important.
Ironically,
Saru
still below a
this.
Type 1 civilization, but yeah.
Yeah. Saru understands this. I think Stamets understands this too. But Stamets, let me know if you were feeling this. Stamets, it seems like Stamets really wants Taruk, or whatever his name is, like really wants his approval when he's around.
Not quite wants his approval. It's not quite wants his approval. There is competition and intellectualism in the same way there's competition on the football field.
Okay.
All right. So let's turn this into a sports metaphor. Stamets was like, oh, this guy's coming. What do you mean this guy's coming? This dude has been studying my games, using my plays, using my ideas based on what I email in to the Coach Foundation. And now he's coming on my ship, wants to use my stuff, and not give me no credit. Like he wants to come in as this star coach when he's been using my book. Like I'm not looking for recognition out of this guy, but respect will be paid.
Respect will be paid. Like that whole scene with Hugh, I was like, bruh, you gotta let it go. And even Hugh was like, gotta let it go. Some people are not going to give you the closure you want. You just got to be prepared for that.
Well, he just wanted props. He wanted his props from the dude that's smarter than him, yet uses all of his ideas.
Yeah, true.
All right. And
Understood.
If Hannibal were here, he'd be like, "Oh, so you do get Stannis?" I'm like, I get him. And you know what? I'll put Stannis on the read tip only because he's got a Sue Storm. Okay, Stamets has a Sue. Because honestly, he's in a relationship with the type of person that every single driven person needs. Somebody that'll be like, look, slow your roll, honey.
Yeah,
you're working too hard.
Everyone needs that person that's able to be like, all right, man, you tripping.
Yeah.
Everyone needs that person. With unchecked, you got Tony Stark.
Unchecked, you're gonna be a bad guy. You are going to turn to the dark side.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, and honestly, I seriously get the feeling that little Mr. Hotshot Scientist is Section 31. And I'm like, you know what? They did it. They did this thing. It got out of control. They're pulling a shield thing. Yeah, we're coming in and we have to get you guys to figure out how to clean up our mess. And we just ain't going to tell you that it's our mess. You know,
and I caught the name. His name is Tarka. So I know I was saying Taruk. Apologies, but I knew it was something with a T and a sound. So Tarka.
Yeah, so
that's his name.
Let's call him Medium Moff Tarka. You know, he's not Grand Moff Tarkin, but he's like me. He's just like Moff Tarka. You know.
Oh, man. I'm sure Geeky Andre would like that.
Yeah. So yeah. And but no, seriously, like now I am gonna say, this is the kind of conflict I have missed in Star Trek.
Okay.
Because most of it is intellectual, scientific, while you sit up with our A plot. And our A plot was, I got a problem with it, and when I was watching it, I'm watching it with my girl, and I'm like, oh man, the boys are gonna have a field day with this one. And I'm gonna be right there with them. Because, you know.
The A plot is okay. I'm not mad at that. We're gonna get to it.
Mm. Yeah, because I got some words about that. Yeah, primarily about the casting. But as any of the rest of that goes, yeah, the Star Trek Prison Break. And
yeah, because you know what? Let's go and get to the A plot because there are, I understand kind of, you know, everybody's society is different, but you ask for the Federation's help, and this is how the Federation helps. All right? Yeah. So we came in, we said, all right, we got to get everybody out. And like, oh, these people, they're the examples. It's like, oh,
and it's like, no, we said,
did you put your pinky
everybody
up when you said that? It's like, did you put your pinky up when you said that? It's like, oh god.
But I was waiting for Assistant Ambassador Karen to pop up because I'm straight up sitting up going, nah, man. Federation said everybody.
Yeah,
everybody. Okay, not everybody that you want. Everybody. You know, we save the species. We're not going to help you prune your species. Mm-hmm. You know, we're like, you know, we've already drawn the line at humanoid because we ain't getting all the animals out, but we're getting all the people. You know, well, we don't consider them people. Well, you ain't the one driving, are you?
Yeah, it's like, you ain't the one, you ain't in charge no more. Your colony is gone. But we do get some cool moments, and one thing I want to say, they kind of alluded to it a little bit, and hopefully it doesn't become a lot of friction. But once again, look, you can write Black couples without any internal issues with each other. Look how they work together. It was amazing. They don't have to hate each other or have some kind of like random drama. They can have external issues that they deal with together as a couple, aka team, unit, whatever you want to call, partnership, whatever you want to call your marriage or relationship, whatever. Mm-hmm. They can deal with it together instead of having these random issues with one another that, in my taste, or in my opinion, are just plot fillers when you don't really know how to write a couple that's healthy. But this, I was like,
in all defense, most writers are not in healthy relationships.
Okay.
You can't transmit what you ain't got, bro. And if you think you can, please write me a check for $5 million. I will happily take that.
Okay. You know, I respect it. So, real quick, shouts to Geeky Entree said, I think this Tarka probably designed this anomaly. It was deemed too dangerous, and some other group actually went ahead and did it. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. You know what? You might be on the money with that, Andre. You might be on the money.
You know, quite honestly, it absolutely stands to reason that it's like a Batman Tower of Babel thing. Although I'm leaning more toward the Shera thing because this Grand Moff Tarka, it reminds me very much of every dedicated scientist where morals go out the window when it comes to research. So I bet he designed it, and who he was working with was going, you even call it fringe science. Fringe and mad are the same thing. No. And then he went to an organization, and that organization's like, hey, bruh, I like that. I like that. Oh, no. Don't worry about those people in the torture chamber back there. We will totally.
This.
Yeah, you can totally do your thing here.
They never have a person around that's like their science, assistant or something to be like, yo, man, look, I know what we doing right here is good in general, but they ain't going to use it for what we want to use it for. we need like, all right. Oh man, you can use this energy source to power the whole Pacific Northwest in just one drop. Yeah, but we could also use to drop it on a country.
I'm gonna send you one of my favorite videos from a sketch comedy duo called Mitchell and Webb, and they talk about that in regards to Project Paperclip.
Wow. Because I'm sure there's a lot of science projects that started out as like, oh man, this is going to be amazing. And then some military was like, we can also use this to poison whoever we want or something like that. I'm sure that's why you need that person. You need that person like, hey man, look, I know they're paying us a lot of money.
Oh no,
I don't think they're going to use this. They're saying they want to use this to help people. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah. There's normally the scientist. That's normally the scientist. That's the I created the laser mounted death scorpion to save the world, not destroy it. That kind of thing. And looking back through history, Oppenheimer was like, what have I done with this nuclear power? Einstein was like, I finally understood what I saw and I wrote it down. I didn't know they were going to do this with it.
Yeah, it's like,
if like you think the Wright brothers,
nuclear power is awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of the cleanest forms of energy we got. Maybe the cleanest. But
and
outside of solar
power. I was about to say
as far as manufactured power. You know what I'm saying? But it's also highly volatile. And when I say highly, I mean highly.
Well, all energy is highly volatile. It all comes down to maintenance. If you don't believe me, put an SOS pad on a 9-volt battery and see what happens. You just need somebody to.
You know what I mean? Like putting up like a solar panel. You don't have to worry about that solar panel melting down and taking out the town. You know what I mean?
No, but you do have to worry about the maintenance on the wires to the batteries. And you got to make sure that you have the right size transformer. You got to make sure that your solar power thing is rated comparable with your wiring, because it might produce too much wires that'll heat, or too much energy that'll heat the wires in the walls, and that's how you burn down your house. So everything comes with a give and take. And it all comes down to maintenance and understanding of what you're working with. So, but to get that understanding, and that's a big thing, to get that understanding, most of the time that understanding comes with taking notes of what did go wrong and not just sticking with your notes of what could go wrong.
Yeah, and you got Geeky Andre saying Tarka was so sure about what kind of controller was probably used in it and what kind of power source it probably has. Yeah, because even Book, I love the thing about Book, because Book was like, he was like, look, you might be impressing everybody else in here, but you're full of it, and I can see it. All right, I'm the Han Solo of it, so I've been around many of you. All right. Different shades and shapes and colors, but I've been around a few of you, and I know you full of it. What you want? Like, what do you really want? Is you up in here trying to be cool with me? No. What do you want?
It's like, oh, you're showing up to talk to the only other person that can drive the sport drive. So like, if you got the attention of both of us, you got control of the ship. Yeah, check it out, bruh. I grew up in them gritty streets, or so I'm sitting up there in them gritty streets, and now I know you. Matter of fact, there was this dude named Twan in my neighborhood, And he would always be cool to that biggest kid on the block. Or there was one kid named Roger, and Roger had all the sports equipments and a little bit of money, and he was real generous. So Twan was always trying to, ingratiate himself upon Roger. And Raj didn't mind. Raj was happy to buy everybody candy bars and all that stuff, but Twan wanted too. Yeah. And I see you go now. I show up and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm the new kid on the block and all that stuff. And I think Roger's pretty cool.
Notice he came with that replicator stuff. Oh, the replicator stuff. Here, have my real stuff. You come bearing gifts, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
You come bearing gifts. Also, I think you're full of it. Me think you're full of it. Walking on the Discovery, talking about, look at this antique. Mm-hmm.
Okay, in all fairness, the ship is 1,000 years old.
Yes, but I think he wants it.
Everybody wants the Discovery.
I think on the low, he wants it.
Who doesn't? All right, so one of the big things on this show, the recurring theme on this show, is everybody wants the Discovery, because the Discovery with that spore drive essentially made it so that it's a ship with a personal teleporter that can go anywhere. I mean, that is technology that is beyond what Voyager jacked.
And they're trying to recreate it even now, and can't do it because that new ship ain't finished. Why it ain't finished? You so smart. Why the new ship ain't finished?
I mean, real talk.
You're not as smart as you thought you was, are you?
Yeah, real talk. The Discovery itself is Captain America, and everybody's trying to get that super soldier serum. Everybody's trying to get that serum, and
this fool, he ain't getting past me. And trust me, that little mark in his neck, we gonna see that come back up soon. But anyway, back to the A plot. You know what I'm saying? Back to the A plot. I am glad that we got brother and sister together and a great relationship, talking about their relationship.
Yeah.
Working together, no beef. Everything's great. Also, working out problems together.
You know what?
Beautiful Mr. and Mrs. Smith type moments.
Big love moment in the whole show. What was it? It's, what are you doing? Reactivate the drones. Why would you do that? So they would come here and knock out the whole thing. Think, it's the, aha. All right, there you go. No, I'm backing her right now. You sure you got this? I don't know.
Be careful. But I think we learned a lot about this specific colony or society through its prisoners. And I think
really? Almost like you can learn a lot through a society by the way it treats its lowest rung, huh?
Yeah, you know where I'm about to go with this. I think it's very telling that we went to this length to say, hey, we learned more about this society from its lowest people than from its richest in the highest society. And just be aware that even in, let's say, another reality or society right now, someone could be trying to stifle, let's say, lessons and education about certain realities that are going on in said society. And those people may be trying to keep you from the raw truth of what that whole place is about. I'll say that.
That is a fantastically algorithmic way of pushing CRT without saying it. I still got to make money from this algorithm. So let's just say when looking at a society, we have to consider all angles. All
the angles of everything that actually happened. Right.
It is critical that we look at all angles. Yeah. So now, I mean, anthropologically speaking, okay, the biggest reason that that theory holds is because the people with the power and stuff at the top have the suite, the package that power comes, which is the power to set the narrative.
Yep.
Okay. The power to set narrative consists of first to communications. And that's a really, really, really big thing. Okay. Because Starfleet didn't make contact with the prisoners. It made contact with the politicians.
Yep.
And Starfleet gets its information from the politicians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets its information from the wealthy, from the politicians. This was also one of the big reasons, big reasons, where during the TNG years, Starfleet was known for dropping in plants on planets. You know, it's like we gonna make you up to look like one of the regular species is out there, and we just gonna drop you down there, and you report to us what it's like living there. You know.
Okay.
You know, and
see, I didn't,
because again,
I didn't really watch TNG like that. I was young. I watched it because my mom watched it, but I wasn't super into it.
Yeah, most of like there were a whole lot of weird plots that came because Riker or Data or somebody would be discovered amongst the people. But that's how they found out. They had the Starfleet write-up, or they had the rumors of this civilization, but they would be like, what do they look like? All right, get the surgeons on it. All right, we gonna drop them in. We'll be back, and we just gonna be right upstairs, okay? We gonna be upstairs, and we gonna be looking.
Interesting.
We're gonna be watching.
That's interesting because I was in a conversation with someone talking about Navarre, and Navarre they ended up making their deal, and they, you know, you had this this push from the, I guess the more the super conservative side that was like, no, we don't really want to be on the Federation.
Right.
And I was having this conversation with someone, and they were like, well, yeah, that's cool for them, but what about the regular, everyday Navarrian that's out there? Like, what do they want? Because they might be like, yo, we need the Federation, because they ain't got it like that. But, you know, the people that got it, they're like, we don't need no Federation. Shoot, we got ships, and we got, you know, communicators and everything. We don't need, you know, the real people, they're like, no, we need it. You know what I'm saying? So I was just kind of talking about that maybe a few days ago about, like, you know, that whole thing that went down with Navarre. So it's a good point. You know, when we deal with planets for the Federation, we're only dealing with like the top council or whatever, or the parliament or whatever they want to call themselves.
Yeah, we speak with the people who speak for the people, but we don't speak with the people.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that's literally how politics yeah. Oh man, Geeky Andre is like, yeah, that was a classic protocol. Yeah, seriously. It's a classic protocol because we need to know if we're letting in the bad guys. You know, and I mean, it's kind of the thing where, you know, everybody's gonna put their best face forward. Okay, how many times did your mama have you clean up the house because company was coming?
Yep.
You know, but when company popped by on a random Wednesday, what were they gonna see? You know.
Man.
Were they gonna see the toys everywhere, the dishes that need to be washed?
The 10 minutes between them calling and arriving, they'd see two boys rushing around trying to vacuum and push everything into a closet that they could.
Yeah, exactly.
To make space for them to come and sit down or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so yeah, that's a real big thing, and yeah, it really is you know, you go in, you observe and report. You don't give them nothing. You don't break the prime directive, but you got to know. And, you know, this is where the theme of our review show keeps coming back, because I think President Fraulein understands that coming from what seems to be the lower class.
Yeah.
And
because her dad seemed kind of like a blue collar guy.
Well, she said trucker, but at the same time, I can't drop any names because literally it's dangerous, but I've known quite a few mercenaries over the course of my life, and they were truckers. Now, they were truckers for Blackwater, but they were truckers. You see what I mean?
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking of a trucker like my dad is a trucker.
You take
gasoline over there, you bring some steel over here, you take lumber over there, like that. I'm thinking of that stuff.
And President Fraulein grew up in the Burn universe. Because keep in mind,
scratching and surviving.
So that's
Emerald Chain.
That's the universe she grew up in. So there's I can see, just given everything we talked about, good old President Fraulein, who did not have an appearance in this episode, which was cool, is probably weighing out the Discovery, planning the new Starfleet and all that jazz, but still got a little bit of that. Nah, see, y'all talking all this good stuff. You don't know what it's like on these streets, because we got Book over here being like, "No, man, I grew up as a smuggler and doing all this stuff, or I had to become a smuggler." But you also got President Fraulein, who was like, "I grew up in a trailer park. Now I'm in the White House." So this is kind of a big thing on that. So I can really see President Fraulein or Counselor Cronenberg being like,
we're gonna talk about him in a second.
Yeah, so you'd like to see if you can make a gravitational anomaly that you can put on the back of a radio-controlled car, huh? You realize that would be rather dangerous. Some would even say irresponsible if they were looking at what you were doing with that lab over here. That's it. He reminds me of freaking Gus Fring.
Yeah, and I don't even know, what is that guy's name? I don't know his real name.
I don't know. I just know I want another fly.
Counselor Cronenberg, I guess. But
yeah, we need a new scanners. That's
because I did want to also add in that maybe we need to ask him and be like, hey, what's up with this? What's up with this Tarka guy? Like, you know anything about him? You know what I'm saying? Like, you do a great job of profiling people. What's your read on?
And see, that, I'm not going to lie, is one of my favorite archetypes in story. The dude that knows everything but says nothing until asked. And, the guy that's like, I could have told you what was going on. Why didn't you? I grew up in a universe with no dilithium. I ain't volunteering nothing.
Yeah, keep that on the low.
And I know everything you guys are going to because I see things on a much broader, grander scale. So y'all really need to get your crap together because winter's coming.
So with the A plot that we had, we did get some time with the actual prisoners. We got to free the prisoners. We got a little bit of action, which I thought was cool. Kind of like seeing how the Emerald Chain still kind of is around in kind of the energy or the kind of byproducts of it, because we did just end it last year, and we did just solve the burn issue last year. Like, TV time, I guess it's because I don't think
it's only been about a year
since the last season. So maybe approximately a year since the last season.
Yeah, and they're actually delving in.
Kind of fresh.
No, they're delving into something that, or should I say, they're not shying away, or what is it? Lampshading. Something that's real important, which is this is something that Battlestar Galactica actually dedicated a whole episode to. No matter what your intentions, no matter what society you build, there will always be a black market. You're never gonna stamp out crime. Never. Yeah. You're not gonna stop pirating. You're not gonna stop crime. Star Trek only touched on it just a little bit with the existence of the Maquis, But no, they're out there. They're out there.
And with this, we see the punitive side of this colony that has been punitive for small infractions. Now, there was the guy that killed someone, but the others were small infractions. And I know that we're supposed to keep everyone, but there was this situation where, and even Book was like, we got to save everybody. And of course, I know, why Book feels that way. And even it's the Federation, it's the Federation plan. But then when met up with someone's literal personal demand / request, what do? Do you like just drag them kicking and screaming? Do you, what I'm saying? Do you like, what do you do? And it is kind of on your, to your discretion. Michael Burnham was there. And then after hearing the story, it's like, I understand why you wanted to stay. I still think there is value of you being alive to be of service to try to repair what you, or restore what you've removed or taken from this young girl. But then I also see where this woman might not even want to see your face. So, and also, even if there is a value or could be a value, if there is and you can't see it, there's still that gap between what you can see and what you can, imagine and what can be done. So you are kind of stuck there with like, well, this is what he feels he needs to do. Do we take that agency from him? What I'm saying? It's tough. I see why Book was like, no, we got to save him. And I see why Michael Burnham was like, this is what he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and
see, I saw it from a different angle, but I do like what you have to say on that. Cause I really didn't consider the idea that he might be meeting the criteria for what I call coward. Because my criteria is real simple. A person should be brave enough to live with fear. Okay? To do what they believe is right, even though they are afraid. That is what I was taught. Bravery was, and I taught that cowardice was to not do what was right when what they knew was right, because they were afraid of the process. So I'm sitting up here and I'm like, all right. I didn't see him as a coward in that sense. I didn't think about it from your thing. What I saw were two things. On a story level, I saw a person that unfortunately fell under a belief system, oh wait, okay, yeah, no, there we are. Yeah, I'm frozen.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I saw a person. See, the internet's even trying to shut me down. There we go. All right, I'm back. No, I saw a person that fell under a belief system. He took a life, therefore he does not belong there. Okay. All right, cool. And the idea of
yo, open mind. I was trying to wait until you was done. I was trying to wait till you was done, but open mind. Oh man.
But but yeah. Well, thank you very much. Oh man, I'm breaking up again. What is going on?
Yo,
let me see what's up with
trying to hate.
Might be YouTube, but from my end, it's looking like it's looking like Zoom, but it could be my computer.
Lord.
All right, there we go. This should be better.
All right, cool. You back?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
Oh my God, no wonder. Yeah. All right, this is All right, there we go. I've cut down a bunch of subroutines, so my computer could be. Computer might be going, kill me. So yeah, I should be coming back in just a minute. But yeah, so like I was saying, hang on. Let me just pop. All right, kill the camera,
Ooh, okay,
and come
okay.
back. No, I said
Are
kill
you
the
back?
camera.
He said kill the camera, kill it,
and come back.
Are you?
Yep. I'm still frozen up. All right. One more time.
Kill it.
All right. So, one more time. Yeah, I know. This is, but like I was saying, at least you can hear me. Okay. Now this guy hit me as someone who had been caught up. Haha, I'm back.
All right.
In a culture that may or may not serve him. Okay. And this happens all the time. This is where you get sellouts and our people. This is where you get chauvinistic women. This is where we get the idea of okay, I killed someone 10, 12, 13 years ago, therefore I'm a killer and there's absolutely no place for me. Yeah. But I'm sorry. And looking back on everything, like, we know as the audience that he had grown. Yeah. So, but he didn't see it and he got caught up in all that. Okay, cool. That's a thing. Man, and I'm freezing up again. And hang on just a minute. Let me restart the program.
All right, you good, but you
yeah. I'll be right.
You're going to go and we'll handle it. We'll handle it from here. So, all right, cool.
Hang on, leave the meeting. Oh wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. See, look at that.
Now
as soon as I'm like, all right, I'm gonna turn you off. It's like, no. Well, cool. We'll stop messing with your camera. But on a mega reading, I saw a chance for Burnham to be a different type of captain from Janeway. Because one of my biggest complaints about Voyager was, we're the Federation, we're saving people, look at us, we saved them. And they saved 7 of 9. And it was, we rescued you from the Borg, we removed all the implants, we did all this stuff. You have your own free will and we are the Federation. You can do anything you want with us. You can, we'll take you and drop you off wherever you want. She's like, I want to go back. Well, no, not that. no, you can do anything but that. See that you see our Klingon chick over here already took out all that stuff. And so on this one, Burnham was like, we're the Federation, we're here to save you, your planet's being upset, at least on our ship you're gonna have a little bit of freedom, you're gonna be doing this, and you are a person, part of a sentient species, so you got your free will. And he's like, I'm gonna stay. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I'm gonna stay.
What do you mean you're staying?
I want to make sure everybody gets out, but I'm the one that deserves to be here. So I'm gonna stay. And Burnham was like, all right.
Okay.
No, okay. All right. You know what? And you're helping get people out. Oh, and you want me to give back this thing? All right, cool. You stay. You do your thing. And so yeah, and he stayed, and again, I felt you in my head when I'm watching this, because I love that character. I really do. I love that character. I love the agency. I love the sacrificing. I love the dying up for their principles. And I hated the fact that it was an indigenous actor.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
I'm just like,
I was thinking, oh, they're probably going to bring this guy on. Maybe we'll see him again in the future. So they're like, nope, no, you won't.
Yeah,
now,
and
I did like that he was able to return the family orb, which I think is dope. like I wish I had one of those to be able to like open up and see like your family tree going back. Now, of course, being a black in America, that tree is going to get
our tree ain't going to be that tall. Yeah,
our tree can only get so tall because just basic records and fractures and records, and you don't know, and sometimes due to the barbarism of slavery in America, sometimes this person became your mom because your mother and father were killed at the whim of a slave master. So, or they were killed under the stress of the work the stress of the torturous, labor that was put before them. So there was a lot of like, hey, my parents were killed, so this is my family now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that stuff was normal. Or like, all right, well, I guess this is my dad now because there's no one else. Or this is the family I live at because that's just it. So unfortunately for us, Black in America, or like ADOS or FBA, whatever they want to call it, those people, our family tree, once it gets to like maybe great, it's probably going to get fuzzy because records, and then of course records being only for property and not actual people, and but I do think it's a dope thing to have. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's just that when you think about it for us in the situation in this country, is just
I was about to say this episode took a dark turn. But honestly, like I was mad that it was an indigenous actor. Not that I don't want indigenous actors to get work, but it's that thing you always bring up of why is it that, I look through it through my filter and I'm like, we don't see enough white dudes on these shows making that heroic sacrifice. Yeah. We could have a few more.
I was thinking because he seemed to be kind of like the leader of the prison, like a collective or whatever, or the examples. I was like,
we'll call him the shop steward.
I was thinking, we'll probably see him later on, in a couple of episodes when they're resettling or something, and maybe he'll kind of like lead their colony, into the next settlement or whatever like that, because he's so kind of like he kind of was positioned as like a wise, kind of like learned young man or, elder statesman, if you will.
Yes.
But they killed him. So
yeah, that was, kind of like, oh, you like this character? Bet you liked Obi-Wan too, huh?
Like he's gone.
But but with that, I mean, I really, really liked that this was Star Trek Discovery Prison Break, And I really like what Burnham had to say to the Chancellor at the end. Well, guess what? Y'all refugees now, with that undertone of now you gonna be the ones that ain't welcome in society. So you were treating your lowest ones like crap. Now you about to go to different planets that gonna treat you like their lowest rung. So,
people aren't going to want you, and they're going to blame you for whatever it is.
Because Federation's still kind of new, so not everybody's that enlightened. And when we were at our best, there was still planets with that old thinking. Still issues. So let's just hope that you get tread with the grace and understanding that you didn't show your people. It's about to be your turn. But anyway, we gonna go.
Lastly, I want to get into Hugh real quick. And I will say, I've been thinking of a way, even for my family, to do that family tree thing. Like, I'm like, maybe not a hardware thing, but I think I could probably try to write something that might work on a basic level. Like,
I'll see what resources I could scrape
that could be
to
cool.
Show you. Yeah,
that could be cool as someone who like to get up and like maybe either see a quick video or hear the voice of like your great grandfather. That could just be dope. Like to see what they look like and like that was awesome. Like when I saw, I was like, yo, that is so awesome. Like, so
our tech is already there. I don't know if the information is there for all people. But I'll hit you up with some resources because there's a huge part of my bloodline that's been doing that for the past like 12, 13 years.
Because I know there's a part of my family that used to, like at every family reunion, take tons and tons of pictures. And, we got the pictures, but even now, I'll be honest. I'm like, I know these are my family members, I don't know how they are. I don't know who. I mean,
hey, who knows? Maybe we can send an email to Zuckerberg and ask for a solid, because that's what Facebook's been turning into.
Yeah, basically.
You know. And I'm like, I know y'all must be my family because I ain't got no money, so you ain't coming out the woodwork asking for something. But,
oh boy, that's funny.
Hey, you know what? Best way to get your family tree is to be announced a billionaire, and you meet cousins that you ain't never heard of.
Remember when we was little? No, I do not remember.
Actually, I do not.
I don't.
Actually, I do remember when we were little, and I didn't like you.
I remember you stole my G.I. Joe. Oh, well, you know, that's water on the bridge.
I remember you peed by the couch and you blamed it on me. Remember that?
Remember that?
So you know what? Here, I bought you another couch. I bought you a whole bunch of couches. I bought you a house full of houses that I actually constructed to have a couch in every single room, so dense that we put the ceiling on last. And don't ask me how much the cranes cost. And you can have this house
we put the ceiling
if you can get
last.
the couches out. You know, sorry, I get petty. I played way too much of the Sims.
We put the ceiling on last.
Well, just think about it. You know, you build up the house, you drop all the sofas in, or with all that, whatever. Yeah. Then you put the ceiling on it and be like, "Hey, cousin, I never liked. I got you a house. Here you go. Look at your house. Oh, you moved out of your old house? Well, here you go."
Open mindset, man. I was a kid, man. You still holding on to that? Yes.
Yes.
I have a cousin. If he's watching this right now, you remember when you stole my Game Boy and I had to come and steal it back? It's because you was wrong, son. You was wrong. And yes, I'm still holding on to that.
And as far as, am I still holding on to it? The whole purpose of a butt whooping from your parents is so that you don't forget. Hey. I remember that. You know,
you remember
that lesson was pushed in. Yeah, that lesson was pushed in every time you got me in trouble. I remember. You know, so about Hugh.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah, Hugh. Oh man, the camera's tripping. Anyway, don't worry. You just keep rolling. So Hugh gets some real talk from Counselor Cronenberg. And even though it was a short scene, it was a very important scene because we've been praising this guy like, hey, you know, this guy's the best doctor there is. Everything's great, you know, and we didn't know that he was, you know, kind of like struggling because he's done his job so well. But, Counselor Cronenberg broke that joint down. He's like, look, you need to do something more than your job because you're going to drown in this. And I know you're sitting there with that savior complex, wondering, because it's true. When they first brought him back, I was like, look, are we sure that this is the same man? Because look, I know this is a different show, but in Supernatural, Dean says it. What's dead should stay dead. I mean, besides him and his brother. But it's like, look, hey, I don't know if it's really him, but now we're like, oh, he got himself back and he's, everything's all good and he's, alive again and he's being able to kind of like help others and pour into the staff all like the love and the care and everything. But he seems to be having some serious problems. And it was just a great job between these two actors. And the show shines.
Honestly, I didn't see a whole lot of acting from Cronenberg's point of view.
Oh, okay.
I saw some line recital. But honestly,
I saw some line recital.
Hugh, bruh, every single main member of this cast at least deserves an honorable mention at the Emmys, in my opinion. They're killing it. But that reminded me of a meeting with Cronenberg. It reminded me of a meeting of anybody on that level. Like, I made time for you at 2. Well, maybe we should reschedule. You called me and I got a dense schedule. So we gonna do this or not? All right, bet. Check it out. You're working too hard. You're drowning in all this stuff. I got another appointment. out. And I'm like, oh, come on. You work in corporate America. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He killed that.
He did. He killed it.
Like,
but then this is David Cronenberg, who's been a director and a producer since the late 70s. So, like I said, I saw a line recital, but I didn't see a whole bunch of acting. I actually saw him on set that day, pretty much going, all right, I got to do this real quick. So, yeah, no, I got to do this real quick because I'm in a meeting with another horror movie producer. So, can we hurry up and do this? All right, cool. Yeah, no, check it out. You're working too hard. I fell into the same trap. That's why therapists have therapists. And you ain't no superpowered person. You just came back from the dead. We good? All right, I'm out. Next, and I'm just like, yeah.
But I think that's part of the character. Or do you think it's a situation where they're playing to the strengths of the actual person that plays the character? They're like, all right, look, we know you're not the greatest actor in the world. You're not getting, Oscars and Emmys rolling out. You're not getting Tonys and stuff just flying at you. But you are a person that's got dry wit, you're succinct, and you're straightforward. And not blunt, but straightforward. There's a difference. The difference is called tact. But but you're straightforward. So just be you. All right, be you in this.
And say this. Say this to him like you would say this to somebody else. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Cut, print it, done.
Yeah, pretend Hugh is your adult son coming to you and you're giving him the realest talk while you're like also working on the car. Yeah. So you got things to do.
Yeah. And, but I do got to say, like, they were smart about this. All right. Because Hugh and Saroo have been the emotional and psychological pillars on this show. Yeah. Because when somebody's going through something, they talk to one of them too.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, who do they talk to? And it turns out, because I have a lot of friends who are therapists. And real talk, because I'm all about mental health, I've been in therapy for a long time. And just with the amount of people that call me up going, I don't know what to do, that is draining. Nobody means for it to be draining, but it costs a lot of emotional currency. So where do you get that back? And for the past season and a half, we haven't seen Hugh with any hobbies. Like we got Saroo with his plants.
He's just like working and working and working.
He's the doctor, the counselor, and especially after A, the burn, and B, the season premiere. Like, we just watched an entire planet die in real time. Y'all need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and with the thing with Saroo is, and I'm gonna get like a mother who has a son who's around 30, 33, 35, that hasn't been married yet. Saroo needs to find someone special. Saroo, because look, Hugh actually has someone to be like, have a great day. I'll see you later. Saroo ain't got that. All right. Saroo need a little something. All right. So he can lay his head, you know what I'm saying? Be like, it's been a rough day. All right, it's been tough out there.
True.
And then she can rub that alien head.
Don't tell me you're shipping Tilly.
No.
I'm just saying.
It could be a lady from the council, like from his hometown. Well, not technically his hometown, but his new hometown. So
on that, and this is kind of a flashback to last week.
All right.
The president of Navarre is kind of thirsty.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be mad. If, you know what I'm saying, he called her up and was like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Would you like to go get some tea?
I just need, someone to talk to. And she'd be like, I'll make some tea. You know what I'm saying? He going in and beam over there. I'll be like, all right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll see the boy.
25 minutes at 4:50. No.
She ain't got nobody. He ain't got nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't see no rings on no fingers. Just saying.
Well, it is the future. We don't know if they're doing the ring thing, but I get what you're saying.
It's
I get what you're saying.
No, it's more than 1,000 years for us.
It's like 1,700. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like 1,700
more
years
than
in the future.
So, but anyway, the bottom line is they're both single, ready to mingle. And
they vibing. Yeah, they vibing too. They kind of vibing.
So, I'm down with it. I'm cool.
Well, who knows? Maybe by season 7.
The cut a little bit different, but I mean, that's what you like.
Hey, maybe by season 7, because you know how Vulcans work, right?
Anyway, with that said, we have exhausted and exercised all the demons. Right over here, Solar, where can they find you?
Hey guys, you guys can find my archive over at Solar Gray on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter at Back in the Deck, at Instagram at Back in the Deck, and you can find me Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. at twitch.tv/bidp. That is BID_P. Yeah, you could totally hit me up there. We talk about games, nerd stuff, and how the practice of hobbies can impact your life for the better and help you at least live the kind of life that you were promised. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So yeah, and all that stuff. I'm looking for followers and subscribers and all that stuff because I'm on the internet trying to make a living. Y'all know how that is. So yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just trying to live his life, make more stuff for y'all to enjoy. That's what it's all about.
And with the community outreach service by teaching kids all these games and all that stuff, and just giving kids something to do that actually builds a future outside of sports and entertainment, and showing them the practical applications of science by gamifying all of it. So that is one of the things I'm doing.
That's what's up. Gamifying things can be fun.
That's the whole point.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is the whole point.
Definitely check that out. Check that out. All those places, TikTok, Twitch, all those things, he's there. All right. So NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. Hit the thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit it down if you don't. But saying, hey, look, just engage with a young brother.
Hey, I'm saying subscribe. if you don't like what you see, then subscribe and leave the comments. Because we gonna get back at you.
Yes, put it in the comments.
But only if you subscribe. That's the whole thing.
Just put it in
the
comments.
Be like, man, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not a subscriber. You are just one of the examples.
Oh man, so yes, go in and subscribe. Won't you come? Won't you come and subscribe? Make sure you leave a comment. That's how the algorithm works. We need them subscriptions, them comments, all that jazz. Let's talk about Star Trek Discovery until next week. I'm going to leave y'all with P.L. Parker Lewis, Arcatron, some hotness. Much love to Geeky Andre, Antoine Allen, Open Mind who came out. Open Mind, we should play maybe tonight or tomorrow night some Dragon Ball. I haven't played Dragon Ball in a while, so I'm kind of itching to fire it back up, see if I still got some skills. Shouts out to Cell, Kid Buu, and Frieza, the bad boys of Dragon Ball. But with that said, from us to you, thank you for watching and peace. And
I shall smoke royally.
Yes, we out.
I'm the man, yes sir, that killed the bare-handed so the people won't forget it. Getting money for our legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the Parker Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the sheriff, we outside. Help the sheriff, we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came away from all the pain.